Fear of the unknown. That can be an inhibitor. If you allow it to consume you, it can stand in your way. I think inexperience tends to surface that. If you can control that emotion and face it in a way that is an acknowledgement and less of an inhibitor, there's no telling what comes next. The moments that I didn't take action out of fear, I have looked back at and regretted. So I've made a conscious effort to make sure that I do my best to not take action because of the sentiment of being scared. When there's an opportunity for me to face fear and meet it head on, I challenge it. I compete with it. And I'm hopeful that that brings with it positive results. But only time will tell. Well, let's go back to the start.
The other thing, if you read some of the stuff from yesterday, get on the age, experience. Shot is taking a chance, looking forward, innovation with no safety. Basically saying, it's a big upside, but it's
like no parachute.
It's basically what the articles say. So they're probably.
Hey, one of the trademarks of our leadership group is that when there's an opportunity to be bold, we won't flinch.
We began the process really at the combine, just after I got hired.
How's life, guys? I have a fresh perspective, and I think that's also the case for both Liam and Tony. Through my own experiences, I feel like I have a deep understanding of really the tools and modern mechanisms that are revolutionizing the sport.
The work as a part of the decisions on draft day began well before the cameras began to roll.
We're going to remain disciplined, and knowing that we have a lot of draft capital that we can utilize. So I view it as a dynamic asset that we can gain an edge over the competition.
We had a lot of paths for success, so to speak, in place.
They add Liam Cohen, they add yourself.
And draft picks.
Yeah, a lot of draft picks, so look for
now.
the Jaguars team.
We mapped out the different routes we would take, depending on how things would fall.
But I'm okay with that impression. People will learn pretty quick once we start making legit decisions that we know what the f***'s up.
So you had to be prepared for what came next and working through different combinations of
All right, let's start here.
players.
What personnel do you think that is?
Talk to me right here. What do y'all call this front with two linebackers in there?
Stay with me now. What technique is the zero play?
If I asked those guys what you're like on game day, what would they say?
Coach me up on that. Coach yourself up on that. Improve in what way?
I don't know if you can reduce much in this world down to a singular element.
You seem not to remember a lot of calls. You're just not interested in football, or it's been a while.
I can, in fact, bucket the type of people and players that we're seeking to invite into this ecosystem, and that is, in fact, those who are intangibly rich.
You know what I think's great here? You don't stay blocked. Absolutely.
Okay? We need guys that don't stay blocked. We get guys off the subway that get blocked, right? You just kick his and then get to the ball.
James has talked about being intangibly rich.
This is the kind of stuff I like seeing on your tape, just so you know, your play style.
What that means is we're looking for guys who love football.
Can't coach this, all right? I cannot coach this. Either you got it or you don't got it.
To continue to improve that growth mindset, they're going to approach the game of football in a manner where you can tell it's really important to them. You go through that process for a reason. we're gonna bring people in this building that we feel like fit the bill to be a Jacksonville Jaguar, and that was the main goal.
Northwest of that Wrigley.
They're doing those because of the stadium renovation?
As you think about a coach's call sheet on game day, it really wasn't all that different for us inside the draft room.
What's our initial thoughts off the cuff?
We had our call sheet. It mapped out the paths that we were to take depending on how things fell, and we remained agile. But our scouts, they were speaking to us the entire way.
Great kid, one of the better interviews I've had. He checks all the boxes. He'll be great here.
We had the biggest and brightest number and color tone on the call sheet, and it was the Jaguar DNA.
You know, he just knows how to play football. You know, he's going to put himself in the best position to be successful. I think he's going to raise the level of the people around him.
It included their evaluations of each of these players on the field.
He's got some wild plays on this tape, like this one right here. Wham! Wow, man.
Run the card up. Run the card up.
Their assessments of their competitiveness, their toughness, their instincts.
I think this kid epitomizes as a worker. Football means everything to him. These are the kind of guys that's going to matter. They're going to help us change our culture.
And it also includes what sourced intel our scouts generated, including football character, personal character, mental capacity, etc.
Real quick, thoughts around the human being one more time?
Obviously, as a person, tough, has a big why, a lot to play for, loves the game, driven, focused.
Yeah, at the school, they just really high on his mental.
And I think it means something that the kid has a high give factor.
We need more guys like this. But he's a guy, if he comes in, you sleep well at night.
Our scouts were speaking to us and speaking volumes through the Jaguar DNA, and at each pick point, that was where we started. That was our guide.
Y'all think this is something in terms of human player, that high price point is worthy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll take it.
No brainer?
No brainer. No brainer.
You know, through all that, thoughts surfaced towards the top, and one of which was prioritizing Travis and seeing if, you know, there would be a potential trade partner.
Early April, you know, James came up with the idea. I mean, all three of us love Travis Hunter and wanted to see him in a Jaguar jersey. To be honest, I wasn't thinking about, you know, could we trade up? I mean, it kind of crosses your mind. James came to Liam and I, we're sitting in the draft room, and he says, we think about maybe making a phone call to Cleveland and New York and see if we can move up and try to get Travis. I pretty much immediately, at least in my mind, was like, why not? And if we have a chance to go get a generational talent, a guy who's trying to redefine the game of football as far as playing on both sides of the ball, I think it's a great idea.
You know, I don't know that there was much expectation as much as it was just curiosity. We were in the discovery phase, right? Exploration and, you know, seeing if there was in fact a path to make it come to life. Once we got through the owners' meetings and established some initial lines of communication with all the general managers across the league, we were able to go deeper. And at that point in time, Andrew Berry and I were able to dive into what would become the framework for ultimately the move from 5 to 2. We had the parameters, the framework of the trade in place, hung with that for roughly 2 weeks until it was executed once Cleveland was on the clock. And obviously, during that window, you're continuing to work through scenarios if something were to change. Obviously, with a trade of this magnitude, if something were to get out, it could impact whether or not it would go through. And so you got to keep a tight circle in that regard and make sure that nothing could impact what ultimately you think is what is best for the franchise.
What's your comfort level in terms of talking trades and things like that? Do you like to have those discussions a few days prior to Thursday night, or are you pretty comfortable even if it's on the clock, being able to make that kind of move quickly?
Yeah, I think adaptability is going to be key through that. It's never going to be done until it gets sent into the league. So we'll have as many conversations as people are willing to engage on, and I don't think that now versus on the clock is going to be anything that I would say isn't of interest.
I've long been someone who moves deliberately and quietly and with poise, and I think that this process was probably a reflection of that.
We have a lot of additional mechanisms that we deploy that don't necessarily put us at risk for the rest of the world to know which direction we're heading as well, because so often those become public facing touch points, at which point you're sacrificing some version of strategy come draft day as well.
We actually try not to have any sort of movement become public knowledge and allow just the natural order of dialogue that exists across the media landscape to take its own path.
Certainly feel really good about the pot of players right now that we're discussing, and that would align with all the messages that we would like to send to the locker room, to our fan base, to the greater football landscape about who the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be moving forward.
There's no intentional smoke screens that we deployed, but rather we didn't share what we were in fact doing. So the unknown is what creates a natural smoke screen, so to speak. We don't have to do anything other than that.
All right, so we're going to talk about the AFC South draft needs. Let's start with the team we've been discussing, the Jacksonville Jaguars. They can't leave the draft without addressing what, Chris?
I don't think there's any doubt it's defensive tackle. Mason Graham has been essentially sharpied in.
If he's available, I'm taking Abdul Carter.
You draft Ashton Genty to help make Trevor Lawrence better.
Could that be Tyler Warren? Could it be Tenero McMillan?
I thought it was fun listening to all the different rumors and the speculation and stuff on X that would go viral, that we were picking this or we were trading down to get more picks, or we're going to pick this individual. To me, it was like, okay, this is working perfectly, because they're going to do the work for us to send out smoke screens. We knew what we were doing, and we knew very few people did.
You've obviously looked at places you could go. Jacksonville's one of those places. Your thoughts on playing in Jacksonville?
I mean, that would be cool. I've heard a lot of good things, new staff and everything.
I've gotten a lot of comparisons to Maurice Jones-Drew, so I've watched some of his tape. I can see why they say that.
Man, I don't think anybody talks to Jacksonville unless I'm tripping. Unless I'm tripping. Am I wrong? I don't know.
A lot has been made about us not doing interviews and 30 visits and such. But don't doubt the work. We knew a lot about Travis Hunter by the people who had lived with Travis Hunter, the people who had coached him, the people who had trained him, the people who had been around him.
What side of the ball does he play on?
Play both.
You hold fast to that no matter what.
Yes, sir.
We identified the guy we want to be in a Jaguar jersey, and that was Travis Hunter.
Hey, how's life?
All good, man. We're home.
The football field's my happy place, right? And life's a little better with a ball in your hand. And so being able to take some steps, air in the gills, it's something to sort of level set my own frame of mind and be able to ponder what could be coming.
Anything else poppin'? How'd you do sleeping on things?
Oh, same. Just continuing to, nothing's changed for me. It's the right move. Let's go.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Jake.
That's how Tony woke up.
Every time that I get a chance to maybe take that stroll with a teammate or a partner, right, and being able to brainstorm, it certainly brings with it an added spark.
Everything we preached on the right person, the right player, to get someone of his caliber, that's that person, is so rare.
There you go. That's it, right there.
So you're saying he's what we're hunting up?
Well, as good a bet as we can make.
That's where I landed.
Yeah.
making bets no matter what. I like that.
Right.
I look forward to using that as a tool just to continue to reset my frame of mind and add clarity when, working through big picture thoughts.
I guess I'll leave you with the idea that we got to recognize something about fear, Jake.
Stare it in the face. Fear is the mind killer. Don't give in.
That's it. Do not fear.
We're going to get a good running back. We're going to love somebody that we're going to get at 88 to 150. And we're going to draft a Hall of Famer with your first overall pick. Hey, that worked out pretty well for the Jags in the expansion draft, huh?
There we go. I like it. I like your thinking, Jake.
Time will tell.
We can tap in real quick, so I want to use this moment in time to briefly walk through really what the next 3 days holds, right?
A lot of people have said a lot of things about James Gladstone. 34 years old, lacks experience, only been at one place, so on and so forth.
Now, to set the stage, I know we've heard a lot of what we'll be emphasizing at each pick point all the way up until where we find ourselves right now. And I just want to reiterate that the decisions that when I dial a phone number are in fact more than just a decision I'm making alone. It involves everyone in this room and many beyond it, right? It's not a simple decision.
His age is irrelevant.
Moving parts behind it, and
I don't care if he's only been at one spot.
That has come from this group.
He was born to be a GM.
And I know there's been a ton of grace, in particular from the scouting staff, over the last 8 weeks in this transition period. Your professionalism has definitely been something that's easy to notice, but it's also greatly appreciated.
He is focused, he's disciplined, he understands exactly what we're trying to accomplish, and he's a great communicator. And just at his core, it's natural for him to collaborate and bring everyone into the process. So everyone feels ownership in what we're doing. And that's what great leaders do.
It's something that is very much in the realm of me being grateful to be in the room with all you, and I definitely look forward to spending the next 3 days together, knowing that we'll get an opportunity to shape the future of the franchise with the decisions that we end up making.
Don't underestimate him. I mean, this is a dude who's a great leader, and he's going to be a great GM.
Dynamite. Let's boot up. Game on.
Heading into day one of the draft, we feel pretty good. I think the fact that there's a little mystery to what we'll end up doing at pick number 5, it allows us the luxury of flexibility. To making it so that we're not pigeonholed into any one direction, but we can make what we feel like is the best decision for the franchise.
Fear of the unknown, that can be an inhibitor. Right? If you allow it to consume you, it can stand in your way.
At this point, we're in a position where we feel good about the options that'll be laid out in front of us come 8 p.m. this evening. I feel like regardless of how things fall, we'll end up in a position to be better tomorrow than we were today.
But if you can control that emotion and face it in a way that is just an acknowledgement and less of an inhibitor, there's no telling what comes next.
Over the last 7 to 8 weeks, there's been a lot more talking than acting around the philosophy as we approach the draft, and I look forward to really bringing that to life with our decisions here, and I think we got a chance to see that show itself here in the early going. That's interesting. But nonetheless, tonight, still good for the same timing, rhythm.
The moments that I didn't take action out of fear, I have looked back at and regretted.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, I appreciate it. If anything else happens to sort of surface that, it might be good to both be in tune with or circle around, let me know and we'll be off to the races.
And so for the rest of my life, it'll always be top of mind that when there's opportunity for me to face fear and meet it head on, that I challenge it.
The day is finally here, so I don't have to ponder anymore. We're getting it done, and the best player in the draft will become a Jaguar before we go to bed.
It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to put it into action. I've been talking a lot since I've got this job, and I've been looking forward to the ops to act on what I was saying. But I want our fans to know, I want our staff to know, I want our players to know that when we say something, we're good on it. And standing on business is something that I'm about, and look forward to the ops that lie in front of us to do just that as well.
I think the most tension I felt was making sure Tennessee was going to pick Cam Ward, because that's what the whole deal hinged on. Wait, boys, just pick Cam Ward and get it over with. We knew, and we were confident that Andrew Berry and the Cleveland Browns were going to do what they said. We knew our position and what we wanted to do. So the only real variable out there was the Tennessee Titans and Cam Ward.
We did feel confident in our plan that was in place. He was the target the whole time. Everybody had buy-in from the top down.
Wrap it all up, tie it with a bow.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's a new dynasty.
Executing it wasn't at our mercy, which is always a little bit of a challenge.
I just want to hear his name. I want the phone picked up with him and Andrew Berry saying we're done, and let's go. Well, I probably had a different perspective than everybody. Because I have a history with the Tennessee Titans, and it not always going the way I wanted it to. Just make the right pick, boys. And so I was sitting there thinking, come on, just do the right thing. Pick the quarterback, pick the guy you've been going after. Let's not monkey around here, let's get this done. And so, but you're sitting there just waiting. You're at the mercy of another organization and kind of what they're going to do. You feel confident, but you can't be 100% confident until you hear Roger Goodell say, the Tennessee Titans select Cam Ward.
Here we go.
Can you imagine if they throw us for a loop?
Just don't do that to me right now, okay? I'm in a good place right now with everything.
Minds at peace. Ready to get on a phone call.
Yeah.
Make dreams into reality.
I don't want it to be misunderstood as if I have some ultimate voice, right? Are you having any fun, or is it not entertaining at this stage? I've been through plenty to date in my life where I've been rattled. I've been operating under fear. But those experiences, they've helped get me to where I am right now, and so many of the experiences that lie in front of us will create who I am years from now. But I've always been someone who operates with a sort of stoic outward shell, but there is an extreme fire that burns within.
And over Wednesday, Thursday, you wanted to dress that.
Go. Okay. Woohoo!
Yeah.
Let's make history. Let's go.
There is a passion for the sport of football and engineering team dynamics that I hope our fans, our staff, our players are beginning to see come through.
Trip, go for it. Call it.
Here we go.
Yeah, we're on with test right now.
look forward to the ops that lie in front of us to continue to push that into focus.
First time we've ever done anything like this.
Yeah.
So happy right now.
Trip is giving the thumbs up on our end. Wait the rest of the way.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh, you did it.
Let's go, man.
Congrats.
Okay, congrats. What one we go for? Pretty cool, man. I feel so legal. That is beautiful. Let's go. Hey, Campy, let's go, buddy. Thank you. This is awesome. Hey,
wow.
We got you another weapon to play with, man. Go play with.
That's another one.
Being able to say something and follow it up with action, it does require discipline. Using this draft as an example, it was probably the largest platform to put that into focus, right? This needed to be a reflection of who we are and who we want to be.
All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call.
Let's go, let's call.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Hey, Travis, this is James Gladstone with the Jacksonville Jaguars. How you doing?
How you doing, Doug?
You know what? Go ahead and take a moment to soak this one in. We're trading up in the draft. We're moving from pick 5 to pick 2, and we're doing it because you're the one we've been hunting up.
Yes, sir. That's the best decision. I love it.
Hey, bro, you've been the vision, and it's not just because of what you do on the grass, but because it's who you are, right? You elevate the space around you, you're going to elevate the Jacksonville Jaguars. You've earned the moment.
Yes, sir.
You've earned our belief.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to Jacksonville,
Yes,
Travis.
sir. Thanks, Coach. Each of us, James, Liam, myself, we're all new in this role. And, with that comes questions and experience, first time doing it together. All those types of conversations have been had. And I think we've been resolute in who we're going to be and how we're going to do things. And we've said a lot. But we haven't had the opportunity until draft day really to do it in a big manner. I don't know if it was about making a splash. I'm not interested in making splashes. I'm interested in making decisions that help us as an organization being the best football team we can be. And that's what we did when we moved up to go grab Travis Hunter.
We have a trade. The Cleveland Browns have traded the second pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And with the second pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Travis Hunter, wide receiver, defensive back from Colorado.
Travis Hunter is a rare person. He's a rare player. His mode of operation, his commitment to being the best in the world, and the idea that he can in fact do something that many believe can't be done. He, like many who are great, aren't afraid to accept that challenge.
See this guy, go down the hallway in his pink suit and dancing his way to the stage, and it just kind of confirms everything that we were hoping for. It's a spark, it's juice, it's excitement, it's passion. He signifies everything that we're looking for in a Jag.
The guy's a football player. He loves football. To him, I don't think it's, about the money, the fame, or anything else. I think what drives him is Travis Hunter wants to be the best at what he does. He wants to be a great football player, and those are the type of guys that we're looking for. You know, a lot of people said, well, boy, you gave up a lot. My response is, did we? We got the best player. And we believe that he is a generational player, and we believe he's going to play both sides of the ball, and we believe he'll help change his franchise. To me, it was a small price to pay.
Called by Travis Hunter. He made a move. And is that a fumble? Travis Hunter, do your thing.
He has extremely natural hands, catch radius, ability to adjust his frame and movements to track. His tracking skills are ridiculous. Just see the athlete in which he is.
Intercepted! Wow! Travis Hunter!
I mean, this is a guy who doesn't want to come on the field.
Just let him go get it.
This is the Heisman Trophy winner. This is a guy who redefined college football, playing both sides of the ball. And I remember sitting down in that combine interview, and it's only 16 to 18 minutes long. But watching him interact with our coaches, I'm like, man, not only is this guy a great athlete, this is a smart young man. High intelligence, football smarts, great communicator. I'm like, there's something special about this kid. That's why I don't think Liam or I even hesitated when James brought the idea of trading up to number 2 with the Cleveland Browns.
What up? Hey, remember in Hawaii? Remember in Hawaii? Hey, man. Yes, sir. It's time to link up, man. Let's go.
Yeah, wait, hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember, yeah.
Yes,
Linking
sir.
up out there. I was hoping we'd have a chance to get you. It worked out. I thought you were gonna go before us, so we had to move up to get you.
Yeah, it's all good though. We got it all planned. We got it all together. So let's get to work, man. I'll be out there tomorrow.
Look, my background's in scouting, and I'd love to throw a bunch of fancy terms out about him. Sometimes you got to make it simple. If you want to go out to recess, he's the first pick. That's what it is. He's just better at football, and he can do everything.
What up?
Yeah,
yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, sir. How you doing, man?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
You all right?
Yes, sir. It's great. You're welcome. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, I know this. I think just to keep it very straightforward, we got you, right? And I don't mean like we've acquired you. I mean, we got you. So like we're supporting you. You got a bold ass vision for what you want to do on planet Earth.
Yes, sir.
And we got a bold ass vision for you.
I can tell you. Bold move. Hey, trust me, I believe in you.
You know what I mean? But we got you. So when you get out here, when you get with your teammates, continue to be nothing more than who you are in it. Because by doing that, you're gonna elevate the space. Not just on the football field, but the city and the game of football itself. We believe that you got that capacity, but maintain your humility. Because that's a special thing about you. It's unbelievable how you move. And it draws people in. It's got gravity. But because you operate with an extreme level of joy and passion for what you do. So maintain that will allow you to focus your attention there and not have to be anything other than who you are, Nate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you. Yes, sir. You ain't got to worry about me. I just got some water, got some football. I'm good. That's all I need.
The idea and the boundaries of the sport of football, they were all meant to be challenged. The game has evolved since its inception. 10 years from now, time will tell what the result looks like. but we look forward to, being a part of trying to bring something special to life, and I know Travis is on that pursuit.
First time head coach, first time general manager, first time EVP. It's sort of in alignment with where we've been in the last few months, and seizing opportunities. Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean it won't work.
When you go into the NFL draft, you're making projections. You're looking at guys who play college football, and you're making a bet that they will be able to transfer that success, that ability that they have shown on the college football field to the NFL. We feel confident in the bet we've made. People will question it. We've been doubted before, looked down on. That's fine. We're going to do it our way. We're going to attack it our way. We're going to bring people in this building that we feel like fit the bill to be a Jacksonville Jaguar.
I think that's been kind of an overarching theme and message that I've received from Shad and from people above that ultimately want this time to be bold and to be different.
I'm hopeful that that brings with it positive results, but only time will tell. When you grow up in a football family or in a world of sport, life feels a little better when a ball's in your hand. And so I guess you can just say it's some version of a fidget spinner, right?
It is hard.
It's also like the power of touch. It's our version of touch with each other.
Yeah.
We can toss a ball back and forth, brainstorming. So it's become a version of a bridge, right? It's a cool little mechanism that brings us together in a way as well. But yeah, so no real deep meaning behind it other than it's just a toy. Yeah.
Wrap it up with Hayes. Last question.
This is for Travis Mark Long with the Associated Press. How'd you get to football?
How I get the football?
How'd you get the football?
Walked in the building and took it from coach.
You can catch? You sure? Listen, you know I can play quarterback too, right? I can throw the ball. So like trick plays, look, let me show you. See? Nobody knew that. Nobody really know that I can really like play quarterback, but I chose, the other route.
You took it from him?
Yeah, he was over there playing with the football. I was like, let me hold that.
So you've had it for how long now?
Since I walked in the building.
I don't know who it was that asked about the football last night, but it didn't take long for Travis to produce his first takeaway.
That ball in hand.